morning, everybody. I'm very happy to say that I am sat here with Milad Shadrooh, who is otherwise known as the Singing Dentist. So thank you so much for joining me, Mil. Very honoured to have you with me this morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's a pleasure, Nikki. Thanks for having me on. Great to see you again.
Yeah, you too. It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
It's been a minute, yeah. There's a lot that's happened, a lot going on in the world, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, the world's been turned upside down. So how have you found lockdown? What's been going on with you?
Lockdown, I mean, it's been okay as it can be, I guess, right? It's been tough. There's been some good things, there's been some obviously bad things. Just on like a global level, obviously it's been horrible for the world and for the, our industry and just everybody's industry in life. And so we can't, I think we've all kind of experienced that to a degree, some quite badly, others a little bit less, but obviously we've all experienced the like global sides of it. On a kind of more personal level, business wise, obviously in my clinic we have an NHS contract, so the funding did continue, but the private element of my business, which was sort of about 40%, that completely plummeted. So obviously it was tough, man. It was logistically figuring out who's doing what, staff issues. We had a few that had to shield, we had some that we had to furlough. So it's just been, logistically very difficult. And then the biggest issue, I think, has just been the total lack of good guidance and timely guidance from our leaders, and telling us what we got to do, and telling us on a Thursday what we're supposed to implement on a Monday is ridiculous. Crazy. Hearing about it on the news is ridiculous.
Yes.
When there's so many bodies that should be looking after dentistry and they just haven't done very well at all. So there's been those type of issues for the industry. But on a personal level, non-business, homeschooling was fun, wasn't it? For
yeah.
For a period of time, that went well. But the good elements of it were, I did get to spend more time with my kids and, with the family, and gives you time to reflect on things and kind of readdress some issues and make more plans. And in a way, and this might sound a bit strange, I was kind of saying this to a few people, I've always been super social, right? And I'm like the number one, hype guy at an event, and I'm happy to meet millions of people. And, always, I'm like a social butterfly. But I think I've turned into like a caterpillar over there. I've gone the other way. Yeah, I'm kind of dreading having to like meet people and socialize with people again. I'm really like, oh god, because I know what's going to be like, right? The first few events, it's all going to be like, so how's lockdown been? And you're like, oh god, I've got to have the same conversation for the 100th time now. This is just a different person. And you get I'm a bit like, well, what's it going to be like in big social gatherings again? Because I've probably only seen like a handful of people face to face. And so much of it has been like this, digitally.
Yeah.
And I kind of quite like the digital thing. I just go on there, say what I need to say, and have a chat, and then see you later. And I'm still in my house, and I haven't had to venture out and waste money on useless stuff.
In the rain. Yeah,
exactly. So we'll see kind of how things go back to normal. I think it's going to be a long transition. Everyone's kind of expecting this June 21st to be literally June 21st. Everything's back to normal. Well, hey, let's just all smash how life used to be. I don't think it's going to be like that. And the mental health aspects of it have been huge for so many people. And I've experienced elements, but kind of in my own sort of way, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how things pan out.
Yeah. So Mel, from a singing dentist point of view, have you managed to keep much of that element going across COVID?
So in bits and bobs, really. I've been obviously very, very conscious that it's weird, because with the singing dentist, I think sometimes my biggest issue is what I actually do with it, because there's so many different things I can do. And now the audience has got so wide and so diverse. People come to my page and people come to the singing dentist kind of entity for different things. And a lot of it's just not even about dentistry. They just come because I'm funny or I'm fun and I make them smile. And I get so many messages literally daily from people saying, oh my God, I needed that today. Thank you so much. You're so funny. I've been really sad today, but and it's just off my stories. So just like me doing, silly things on my stories or just talking down the barrel, people just get entertained by it and laugh at it. So I think that's been my thing over lockdown, is just being conscious of the fact that people use the singing dentist entity and page just for, relief and light-hearted entertainment sometimes. So I haven't really been hammering dental parodies down people's throat, because I just felt like I don't necessarily need to do that, or want to do that over the lockdown. I'm just going to be here, and if people want to reach out, they can do it. At the start of last March, so like last March, when COVID was kind of, and everyone was doing the mad bog roll dash and, you know, clearing out supermarkets and stuff, I did the Vanilla Ice parody, the COVID baby one, the virus baby. Dun, 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 dun.
Give us a little rendition.
Well, that's basically it. So it was a parody of Vanilla Ice, and I did the whole, all right, stop, self-isolate and listen. COVID's back. It's a brand new version. So I did a whole thing about COVID, basically. And that went like mad viral. I had about 7 million views on my own page, and loads of pages across the world shared it again. And that was, you know, showed me that I could talk about non-dental things and people still kind of find it entertaining. So I did that. But then again, I didn't want to just keep hammering COVID stuff and talk about lockdown this and lockdown that and, you know, what's happening. I did a parody about PPE when all that was going on. But I parodied the Jackson 5's ABC. It was like PPE.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. I can't remember what the rest of the lyrics were now. My FFP3, I talked about my mask, and I kind of put all the clobber on.
Doing it, Mel?
No, you know what? I memorized them all, and I kind of just deliver them in one take. Amazing. Yeah, that's always been my style. Learn the lyrics, deliver it. Yeah, so if you see none of my stuff is ever edited, it's never chopped or, you know, recorded. It's just straight down into my phone. So it's always one take. I use my musical abilities of years ago to deliver it. So I did a PPE one, and actually got me on the BBC a couple of times. So I did a few bits on like BBC News. I did a couple of the like live sort of daytime shows on BBC. Some like health kind of shows, and just updating people on what's happening with dentistry and what's going on and lockdown and what we can do. So yeah, I've been active. The biggest thing I did though in lockdown was DJing. Every Saturday night, I went live from my conservatory, and I DJed for like 2 hours, sort of 9 o'clock, you know, till 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, because people couldn't go out, right? So we turned it into, I called it Club Conservatoire. And oh man, I was getting like hundreds of thousands of views. It was crazy. People live. And I was just streaming, but Facebook and Instagram cottoned on to lots of people were doing this, and the kind of copyright algorithms kicked in, and it just started cutting it off. So the minute they kind of recognize the song, you know, and I'd get multiple copyright kind of infringements afterwards from like Warner Music and Universal Music and Sony BMG and all these people. So after about 6 weeks of doing it, 7 weeks of doing it, it just became impossible to carry on. So
shame.
I had to stop. But that was giving a lot of people, again, so many messages, man. And I even got stopped in a petrol station once by some paramedics. And I'm like, dude, your Saturday night shows got us through the pandemic and stuff. Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Oh my God. So Mel, that must be just so rewarding. If you get stopped by the man in the street who goes, you have kept me going. My word, how does that make you feel?
That's the reason, genuinely, that's the reason I've carried on doing this singing dentist thing. It's been 5 years now, over 5 years I've been doing this stuff, and it's kind of kept growing, and the following has kept growing, and people are still discovering it now who hadn't even seen anything from before, which is amazing. I mean, I'm not a huge social media entity. If you look at people on millions of followers, you know, global, humongous creators and entities and celebrities and what have you. So I'm still very, very like small fry in the world, but it's amazing how many people have seen what I've done. And that's genuinely the reason. If ever it got to a stage where I just wasn't getting any more messages and people didn't really care, and they weren't hitting me up saying, oh my God, you know, my kids love you. My kids are brushing their teeth because of you. Oh, you've made me smile today. I've had real bad mental health issues, and your page has helped me get through a lot. And because I'm very active as well, and I kind of respond to everybody, it's very difficult when you get so many messages, but I try to respond to almost everyone. And that, even in itself, they're always taken aback. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you've replied to me. I never expected it. And
oh my God, that must blow people away.
Yeah, and it's a job. Doing that is a job, and people don't necessarily see it. And you know, you don't necessarily get paid for it. Like I don't get paid to sit on my phone and reply to people. I don't get paid to make content. I've never monetized my direct content, because also a lot of the ones that do well are the parodies, right? I can't monetize them because of copyright. So you know, for me, it's a way to reach people and just use my creative energies in other things which I'm passionate about and I really love doing. So as long as people like it, I'm going to keep doing it. That's what I've always said.
Please do keep doing it. So I'm going to give a shout out to Andy, who's my business partner. He is your biggest fan. And he said to say to you, don't stop, because he watches everything you do.
Brilliant. Big up Andy. He's got great taste.
Andy. So, Mel, obviously you're in the top 50. Amazing. Congratulations. Everything that you have been doing for 5 years, you know, it's been recognised, and that's amazing. How did it make you feel? Because you've probably been up there for a few years, but you know,
Yeah.
You know, to get it again.
Do you know what it is? So the top 50 is remarkable in that. So I've been a dentist 17 years now. So I qualified in 2004. And prior to the singing dentist thing, I'd never even been like up for voting, I wouldn't, let alone the 50 to 100, nothing. And I just kind of used to see my friends on there, like, oh, that's cool, that's wicked. And the first year I started doing the singing dentist thing, I was voted number 1 in the top 50. And I was like, wow, that's mad. The following year, I went to like number 3 or 4 or something. Yeah. So I was still top 5. The following year, I was number 1 again. The following year, I was number 1 again.
Wow.
And now this year, I like what they've done this time round. Is just take 50 people collectively. Because the whole number 1, number 2, number 3 thing, I mean, it isn't, you know, and being chosen, getting people to kind of vote. And there was a lot of people that would ask people to vote or, you know, stick it on their social media for people to vote. And I never did any of that because I just felt like I don't, you know, if I wanted to do that, I could, and I could blitz it because of just the following. But I never kind of wanted to do that. And the people that have issues with this Dentistry Top 50, that's their main issue because it's like a popularity contest as opposed to actually being someone who's made an influence or made a difference.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think the people in this year's Top 50 are undeniably people that have made a difference. I still think there are a few people that aren't on the list that are making massive, big differences in our industry, you know? So I think this way is better. And
me too.
I think the good thing with it, and this is the bit that annoys me about the kind of haters, you know, hating on this thing, is a lot of people do some fantastic stuff that goes unkind of noticed. And it is nice to bring some light onto the people and give them some recognition. They may do it not wanting any recognition, but that doesn't change the fact that we should still recognize what they've done, right? There's a lot of humble people doing amazing things in the background that don't want the recognition for it. But I still feel like we should recognize what they're doing and let them know that, you know what you've done is amazing. Big up for not doing it for any reasons other than being a fantastic human being, but we've seen what you've done, and let's put you in this, you know, group of amazing peers in our industry that are making differences. Absolutely. So that's kind of what I see of this, and to be amongst those 50 people that I respect and, you know, regard as real kind of, you know, movers and shakers and people that are doing stuff in it is fantastic to just be even considered, let alone in the group. So yeah, I think it's a bit of fun, but I think it does have a purpose, and it is nice the way they're doing it now, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mil, as a human being, what is the one thing or the few things, because it's hard to nail it down sometimes, that you value most in life?
I think the first thing that I would always put above anything else is family, friends, you know, the close connection to people you have. That is definitely the number one. And very close behind that, and as I'm getting kind of older, is health. Honestly, health is, I know that saying health is wealth, but it really is, because, you know, as I'm starting to see more and more kind of people around me getting kind of older, and you hear so much stuff in the news all the time and, you know, on social media, and there's so much more kind of health issues and things happening nowadays, or maybe they've always happened, we're just more aware of them now because of social media and because medicine has advanced. We hear about things a lot more, but obviously there's better treatments and things. But health, staying healthy has got to be so important. Eating, what we eat, the way we look after our body, not abusing our body, all these type of things are so important. And I turned 40 in January, so like 3 months ago, and it's crazy. In my head, I'm still like 18, genuinely. Yes. But my body's starting to kind of tell me that, dude, you're not 18, 18 anymore. Yeah. Like I get aches in places I never used to get aches. And, you know, I've got like a bunch of these sort of celebrity football games coming up now that kind of the world has opened up again. I'm dreading it, because back in the day, I used to play a lot of football. I could just turn up and, you know, stretch for like 2 minutes and then play 90-minute football, high intensity run around. I went for a jog the other day. Literally after about 10 minutes, I honestly felt like I was dying. I was like, this is, you know, what has happened? Like honestly, my legs were hurting the next day, and I was like, I only ran for 10 minutes. How on earth am I going to get out there and play 90 minutes? Yeah. So I need to get back into it. The good thing is I've always done sports, and my body's quite receptive to sports. So the minute I start working out, or I start getting back into it, the memory kicks in, and I can, you know, get in pretty decent shape pretty quickly and get my cardio back. And I'm just used to always being kind of athletic and doing stuff. And so health for sure, friends and family, the connections we have with people that are close to us. And I think that's one thing that's come out of lockdown. I've kind of been able to really realize who are the people, who are the real ones, who are the people I need to kind of make sure we're good, and who are the kind of acquaintances that we can just keep, you know, hello, how are you, little WhatsApp voice notes, but we don't have to necessarily meet up all the time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Those two, man, and my kids, you know, the way my kids perceive me, you know, everyone wants to be a hero to their kids, right?
Of course.
So trying to just set good examples, trying to, you know, be a fun dad and give them memories that they'll remember. Like I've got memories of my parents and stuff they did for me. So I'm very conscious of that. And while they're so young and while they, you know, like their daddy, I kind of want to be around for them. You know, there'll be a point where I'm sure they'll be like, Dad, you're so embarrassing.
To every moment, Mel, I've got two ferocious redheaded teenagers, and it's not always easy.
That's what I'm saying. That 100% is going to come. Dad, will you stop doing that silly thing with your eyebrows? It looks so silly. I'm sure that's going to happen. So while they like the eyebrows and my antics, I'm just going to keep doing it, you know?
Yeah. But you can do it later on and just wind them up, you know, because you've got to give as good as they give you.
Do you know what I'm actually doing? I'm banking loads of footage. So I'm filming them saying, you know, how much they love their daddy. And I'm filming them saying, oh, you know, how much they think I'm so cool. So, you know, when they are stroppy teenagers, I'm going to bring out these videos and go, look, you did love your father once. So yeah, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying with creating these memories, and even in lockdown, you know, they will have memories of lockdown. So we try to make things fun as possible, and yeah, those are my priorities for sure. Above work, above other things, you know, work and all those enable me to be able to do these things. So they're important. You know, we can't neglect them, but I'm pretty happy in the way I've kind of prioritized things and my kind of goals and my, you know, my why. I'm a big believer in know your why and know why you're doing things, and then put the steps in place to enable you to achieve those things that you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. So Mil, before I leave you, have you got any message that you'd like to give to our audience just to help them keep going? We're nearly at the end of that marathon, but we're not.
I know, that's it. I mean, we are nearly there. So just I think persevere, put things in perspective, you know, always like I said, just previous to this, the knowing your why, you know, have an idea of why you're doing things, what you're doing. I really do like, I used to think this was nonsense when I first qualified, you know, the PDP, your personal development plans and all these type of things. I was like, oh, who cares about that? You know, you're young and you just qualified, and, you know, your first 5 years PDP is probably just make money and have fun, right? And, you know, learn what real life is like. But now, from about 10 years, 15 years ago, I kind of realized quite early on, having a plan and knowing what it is you want to achieve is so very important. So that's always been my thing, man. Have a plan, have a vision board, you know, put some stuff on there that's achievable, put some stuff on there that is aspirational, and even put some crazy outlandish stuff there, because you never know, you know, the world works in mysterious ways. Connections, networking. I've met people in the most randomest things. There's been events where I've been like, oh God, I really can't bother to go to this tonight. I just can't be asked. Pardon my French. I can't be bothered. But then I'm like, all right, let's go. I've gone, I've met someone, and then I've gone on to either be best friends with them or start a business with them, or it's been so mad how things have happened. So, you know, and I've done that because I've got this vision board. I've got this thing that I want to achieve, and I know what it is, and I have a good team of people around me, so I don't ever, you know, hold things in. I like to share, I like to discuss, you know, have good grounded people around you. My wife keeps me so grounded. My best friends that I've known since childhood keep me so grounded. I can bounce ideas off of them, you know. It's having that network, it's having that team of people, and being able to always have a vision and a plan for what you want to do, and then you ride the wave while you're getting there. Yeah. So, you know, I do like being spontaneous. You have to still allow some spontaneity, like just having, you know, everything mapped out all the time. And, you know, that can get a bit tedious and boring. Yes. But without a plan, you can be a bit of a leaf just blowing along. I think it's nice to be a leaf that is kind of going to the river, and then it's going to land on the river, and then the river's going to take it to another place. And then, you know, it might end up somewhere else. So those are the things, you know, like kind of know what direction you're going. Yeah, but just float along and enjoy the ride, man.
Absolutely. Oh, brilliant. Oh, Mel, thank you so much for your time today. I know how busy you are.
Oh, thank you.
Things going on at home, and, you know, with
we have tiling. We have tiling starting. What an amazing thing that's going to be. They are tiling the whole floor, so we are literally lifting everything off the floor as we speak. So I'm thankful there's been no noise.
There's been no noise. Very good.
Brilliant. But lovely.
Thank you so much. You take
Nicki.
care.
Thanks for having me.
Keep up the good work and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Same to you.